Sinead O'Connor's Facebook video gives us a chance to talk about mental health through the lens of celebrity. Let's do that.
Irish singer-songwriter Sinead O'Connor posted a troubling video shot at a local motel to her Facebook page on Thursday that details her recent struggles with mental illness.
I want everyone to see what it's like. It's why I'm making this video. The mental illness, it's a bit like drugs. It doesn't give a shit who you are. And equally, what's worse? It's the stigma. It doesn't give a shit who you are. I'm not staying alive for me. For me, if it was me, I'd be gone straight away back to my mom.
That's really distressing. Sinead O'Connor there, I suppose it's interesting to look at this in the context of the career that Sinead O'Connor had. She's a very beautiful, searing person with the great gift of this voice, but always accompanied with a kind of intensity, the moments of controversy. Clearly she's a person that's been conflicted. And as we've said before, how could you not be conflicted in this world? There are so many conflicting messages. There are so many counterintuitive messages, continual rewards and endorsements of behaviours and ideas that seem inherently negative, that a constant materialisation and commodification of things that we value, the things that seem precious and beautiful, continually sold back to us. Sinead O'Connor seems like someone that's sailed a little bit close to the truth. I've noticed a lot when dealing with people that have got self-declared mental health issues that they are seemingly quite sensitive and intuitive, a little bit raw, that they've exposed a lot of the gift to the world. And I think it can be a hard thing to carry. This seems like a person that is really, really worn out. And interesting as well that she's sort of dealt with religion in the way that she has as well, that she's had these kind of infatuations with faith and the theology. It's like certain people are looking for something, for some kind of connection. I identify with that. Blessedly, I've not felt the way she looks like she feels for a while. But for me, that's that feeling, the memory of that's, you better give me some drugs when I feel that kind of level of terror and dread and alienation and purposelessness. In a way, it does serve a purpose. When people were talking about Chester Bennington, in his death, it's like this is a prelude. This is the kind of mental state that one imagines precedes suicide. So here is an example. You can go, oh no, don't do anything radical. You're not always going to feel like this forever. There is a way of feeling differently. But there are different schools around that, isn't there? Because on one hand, there's the idea that you can just accept it, that the world's all a bit mental and, you're judged in the way that you are and you can't have real connections and you watch ecological meltdown and political and economic inequality and just accept all of that stuff. Or there's a different journey, a deeper journey, a more personal journey.
Because I've walked this earth alone for 2 years now as punishment for being mentally fucking ill. I am making this video because I am one of millions, and that should be our fucking catchphrase from now on. One of millions, one of fucking millions.
It's quite beautiful that even in this state she's trying to coin a catchphrase. The other thing that's kind of mad about this is a person, this is private, isn't it? Like when you look at that, you think that's private. Like when you feel that forlorn and hopeless and desperate, and when you're sobbing and you can't speak properly or use your proper voice, that we live in a culture now that exposes that and transmits that, broadcasts that. That's for me, that is a searching and groping mentality. That really suggests people are looking for something, and that the same way as you could see Donald Trump as some carbuncle avatar for American rage, Sinead O'Connor here seems to be demonstrably the strangled and unappreciated female, the kind of goddess energy that is cloaked and choked and unexpressed, who is somewhat discarded, fated temporarily, and when alloyed and allied to fame and fortune, but now in some motel room abandoned and broadcasting her misery as some sort of last morsel of entertainment. And really what Sinead O'Connor, like anyone suffering with mental health issues, needs is connection, meaning, purpose, love, and a bit of time, really. A mate of mine once said it's a shame, isn't it, that he was talking about his son. He said it's a shame that you can't really just be someone who reads books and sits in the park and stuff, that you have to have a job that defines you. because he'd be all right, my lad, with that. And it sort of struck me in that moment, why is it that you're only valuable if you're useful to society? Where did that idea come from? That you've got to earn money and you've got to have a good job. That's just an idea, It's like, well, why not have it? No, you've got to work. You've got to work for a bloody living. You've got to bloody work, get out and work. Like, well, why? Why? If there's no reason for it, if there's no purpose for it, if actually what you're working for is a lie, someone else's idea, someone else's privilege, some other strata are abstracted from your own life. What Sinead O'Connor is expressing, I think, almost on behalf of the society, as she is in fact claiming to do, is that mentally ill systems create mentally ill people. Disconnected systems create disconnected people. And while on one aspect of this is the usual glib, bloody TMZ celeb story, another aspect of this is a cry from the heart of humanity.
Why are we alone? What the fuck did we do? The people who suffer from mental illness are the most vulnerable people on earth. And every day I've spent for 2 fucking years that my entire life is revolving around just not dying, and that's not living.
And it's interesting that where this ends up is as a kind of form of entertainment. In a way, we're sort of picking over the cadaver of this piece ourselves now to give you this analysis, and are no different from any other more populist and numbing kind of media organisation. Except I feel like I recognise that. I feel like there's a place reserved for me on one of those motel beds if I don't stay connected. Part of my way of doing that is to remain connected to other people that identify with the way I feel. In my case, that's often through the identifying as an addict, that my mental illness most obviously demonstrated itself through sort of substance dependency and other behavioural dependencies, by working a program, one of acceptance, connection, belief that things can be better, and a willingness to ask for help. I suppose my hope is that Sinead O'Connor, in doing this thing that will be splayed and spawned and sprawled through various pop portals, that it will function somehow as a confession, that it will function somehow as a connection, and that it will be something that Sinead O'Connor comes back from, and that it won't be some living cenotaph for a woman already dead. The fact is now that she's in hospital, and perhaps she'll receive there the kind of care that she needs. But for me, from just watching that briefly, that's a lifelong job of required connection, of ongoing inward work, and an acceptance that this world needs a different way at looking at its inhabitants, that we need to have a more harmonious society, more harmonious with one another, more harmonious with the systems within which we live, the planet itself. This is what disconnection brings. This is what happens when people are not able to be what they're meant to be. This is stifled spirit. Mental illness is a kind of disjunct, a breaking down, but you can't divorce it from the context in which it happens. This is not taking place in utopia. This is not taking place in Eden. This is taking place in a desperate and broken system. I suppose ultimately we have to hope, pray, in fact, that Sinead O'Connor gets better and that the world gets better. True news.